the...
All right.
You tell me whenever we're about to actually start.
We're about to.
You know I can record, right?
Yeah. Just
Yeah, bro. I didn't know
Alright,
Joey hates lights so much, bro.
all right, we're live, so let's get going.
Raised
All
by
right.
the dog.
Start in 3 and 2 and 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pizzas Here podcast, your home for all Washington Capitals news and content. Today we're joined by a not very special guest. He actually happens to be the first ever PHP guest. He's making his return today, part 2. We would like to welcome CapsBoyBebop, aka Noah, today with us. How's it going, Noah?
It's going pretty good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks
Ciao.
for being here.
Swell.
Oh, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's a bit surprising that we're having you back, considering the content we were pushing out in the first episode. but things will be a little bit less crude and obscene this
Best
time
episode.
around.
I don't want to hear it.
It's
Hey,
definitely
it
up
didn't
there.
have me. There's no chance.
It's the first go around was definitely a memorable episode, but here we are today. Things are a little different, but we're happy to have you here today. So let's just get into it. So before you became the hockey Twitter icon, I guess you could say, that you are today, you worked for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who we all love so much as Caps fans. But what was your experience?
Yeah.
What was your experience like working for the Lightning?
It was a good time. That was the first job that I had when I moved to Tampa. I worked for the Lightning. I did a couple different things for them over the course of like 3.5 years. But overall, it was a really good experience. I was in the building when the Capitals won the Eastern Conference, and I got to go up and see that happen on the ice. So I got to see the trophy presentation, which was cool. It was cool of my boss at the time to let me do that. Otherwise, I would have quit on the spot and just gone up there anyways. But I don't know. I have a lot of good memories and a lot of good stories from my time there, and I'd be happy to share them.
Well, we love a good segue. What are a couple of your favorite or memorable stories from your time working in that job?
So one that I had mentioned to you, I think I mentioned it to EA prior to this, was everybody is aware of the Lightning black third jersey, right? That they wear on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Okay, so when that jersey was coming out, I worked in retail for the Lightning, and I was one of the first handful of people to know that was the jersey. And I was working a game one night. Kid walks in. I think it was during the first or second intermission. He walks into the store, and no, this jersey is not out yet. It did not come out. It was not even announced by the Lightning at this point. Kid walks in the jersey. It's the first thing I spot, and I kind of I pointed at him you need to come near right now. So he comes over and he's like, what? I ask him, I was like, where did you get the jersey from? And he starts he looks kind of nervous. He's like, am I in trouble? I'm like, no, you're not in trouble, but I really need to know where you got that jersey from. And so he tells us.
Boy Bebop.
I literally I felt like I was interrogating this kid, but I needed to know because the jersey wasn't out yet. And he had it. He was wearing it. So I think we ended up taking him in the back. And which sounds really menacing.
Did you kill him?
Where's this kid at now? Is he alive?
He's alive. But he's probably a little scarred. But we took him in the back, and he explained that he got it from a pawn shop, and he gave us the pawn shop location. And I believe, I can't remember if we bought the jersey off of him, gave him just straight cash, or if we gave him a new jersey, like a new Addy Zero jersey of his choice. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the two, but he did not leave the arena with the jersey that night. I'll tell you that. And so what happened next was two of my coworkers tracked down the pawn shop that he bought it from, and they talked to the owner, and the owner was like, yeah, I've got another one of them. So the owner met my two coworkers in a parking garage to sell the jersey. It was like a jersey drug deal almost. It was like top secret shit. But long story short,
Narcos season 4 is fucking wild. Boys, that's all I'm saying.
Long story short, we were able to get it, and we got the story behind it too. It was apparently a Fanatics employee took a few of the samples that they had of the jerseys and sold it to a pawn shop, hoping to make some quick money off of it. So, but we got them all. We got them all off the streets. And
So a former Fanatics employee,
saving
probably.
the kids from the.
I would
Poverty
definitely say
Fanatics.
I would
Poverty
definitely
Fanatics.
say a former
saving the kids from the
Fanatics.
dangers of all black jerseys. You can't be too safe these days.
I mean, those jerseys are disgusting.
They're awesome.
They're disgusting.
Okay,
I hate
listen.
them.
I think they're pretty average, if I'm going to be honest. I think they're a little bland. I like a good black jersey, but I think they could have done more with it. I like the reverse retros though. But that's
Yeah, the reverse retros
obviously.
were nice.
I have that
Yeah.
on my
Those are mid
wall.
as fuck.
I feel like the Tampa Bay Lightning have a pretty cool jersey, and it's just like, I don't know. Going all black is like, and whenever you make a uniform that's all black and you don't do anything special with it but throw your logo on it, it's like whatever.
I used to stare at
Yeah.
those jerseys every day for like 2 years, man. It
You
was-
can miss with a black jersey though, like the stars, like neon shit. So
Those are fire.
Yeah, those
The
are
stars
fire.
black and green.
No,
Those
those
are
are
God,
fire.
Those
Those
are
are fire.
Those
we'll
are
have this
heat.
discussion later.
Those are heat.
Rare Will L.
Rare will.
Really?
Rare,
Really?
I feel like
Those are I
I
like
feel like
those.
Rare.
we covered that on whatever episode it was, season 1. You ever want to yell about jerseys? I feel like we had this discussion. Like
Oh yeah.
those jerseys are really nice. It was
Which jerseys again?
season
I'm
1,
sorry.
episode 2. You ever want to scream about jerseys? And that was
Like
that's
the
definitely a
ones
good
that look
one.
like they're out of the Matrix movie.
That's sick. That
Those things are so tough. Just
Tron,
stop.
dude. The Tron.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
the Tron.
Yo,
movies.
those things fuck. I'm sorry. They're awesome.
Hope he wears it. It's great.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but Jamie Ben's ugly ass wears it. It's disgusting.
Joey, next question.
Just shut up. So you obviously were at the All-Star event that year in 2018 because you mentioned you were there the conference final. What was that like? Because that was the year they had the entire starting group for the East or the Atlantic was all Tampa Bay players, right?
Yep. The All-Star event was crazy. That was without a doubt the hardest week of work in my life. I'm talking like 12, 14-hour days in a row, just back to back to back. So much merchandise came in, and we had to swap it all out with all the Lightning stuff. And then there was just so much other stuff going on. It was crazy. The best part of the entire thing was during, I want to say it was the skills comp. During the skills comp, Dan Girardi came into the store. He was with the Lightning at that time. He came into the store, and I was helping him out for a little bit. And so I was pretty much running around Amalie Arena doing stuff for Dan Girardi at the time, which is really cool. But he's a super nice guy. He's a great dude. A lot of those guys are really cool. And so we got to interact with a lot of people that weekend that we otherwise wouldn't normally be able to interact with. So it was just a crazy event, though. I think the part about the entire event that pissed me off the most was during later on during the skills comp, I went up to work to help out a guy work the pin trade thing. He wanted me to come do that with him. So I did that with him. And I think it was Kid Rock performed, I'm pretty sure. And he was like, oh man, I'm a huge Kid Rock fan. I want to go see Kid Rock. So I was like, all right, whatever. As long as I can watch Ovechkin do the hardest shot, you can go see Kid Rock. So he comes back from the Kid Rock performance and we're hanging out. And before the hardest shot, he's like, oh, I got to go take a shit. So I was like, all right, please hurry up. I don't want to miss hardest shot. I really don't want to miss it. Dude never comes back from his shit until like way later on in the event. I miss Ovechkin's hardest shot, and I'm pretty sure he won it that year. So that was brutal. But otherwise, it was a cool event. It was really cool to be a part of something like that. Just a lot of fun times surrounding that. Like as stressful as it was, like it is something that I do look back on pretty fondly to be a part of that because it was a special year, especially for the Capitals. So just a good time all around, but very stressful.
People are Kid Rock fans. What the fuck?
Yeah,
That
this
would
dude
have
was a
been, that
huge
was
Kid
the
Rock fan.
last All-Star game that OU went to, right?
Yeah, because he refused to go to 2019.
No, he's
and
going to this
2020.
one though, I think.
Yeah, he said he
Which is-
would.
Which is nice. Okay, so you are known for Twitter. That's one of the things you are known for. So in the PG-13 sphere of things,
Of course.
what are a couple favorite like tweets? You know, whether it's a got 'em or just something that you thought was funny.
It can be R, but not like rated R like to the max.
I got you. I got you. Is the Nick Dowd thing
Oh no,
considered?
go
That's
for it.
perfectly good.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Dude,
Go
just
ahead.
fucking go for it at this point. Who gives a shit? Like,
I really think
no
that,
peanut butter, no peanut butter tweets, no.
I
fish
got you.
tweet.
I got you. I don't know. The Dick Nowd tweet has lived on quite well so far since that
were
one.
you the
But
one
there
that
was-
started that all? Or you were
He
the first one
started
to
it,
do this
right?
with
Yeah.
Damn.
What's it like knowing that Paige Dowd and supposedly Nick Dowd knows about that?
Oh, Nick knows. He knows.
I'm assuming he knows because Paige said that she would tell him. So, what's it like knowing that Nick Dowd, arguably the best hockey player in the world, I may add, knows that you've started a Twitter trend about that?
I hope that they got a good laugh out of it. I hope they got a good laugh out of it. That's all. Really. They
I
seem
will
like-
say when
seem like good
Joey
people.
and I went to the Caps game where we got shit kicked by the Bruins, and Nick Dowd had done something, but like I said it out loud. I was like, I said the line, and the kid like sitting next to us, who we didn't know, he was like, that's fucking funny. I'm gonna use that. I was like, yeah, thanks. I came up with it. I was
Good
like,
old I did it.
as long as it makes people laugh, that's all I care about, man. There was another tweet that I had back in it was super long time ago. It was back when the Penguins and Nashville played in the Stanley Cup final. And if you guys remember at the time, there was a point where I believe it was the city of Pittsburgh like banned the selling of catfish or something like that, like fresh catfish or something like that. Something ridiculous because Nashville fans were throwing them on the ice. And I was a nobody on Twitter at this time. I still am a nobody on Twitter, but I threw out a picture of it was like a car getting chased by like 80 police cars, and I was like, when you buy a catfish in the city of Pittsburgh or something like that, and that one kind of blew up a little bit at the time, and I thought that was pretty funny. So, but I don't know.
Well,
I think
what was your first like really big tweet? Was that it?
it might have been that one. To be
That's a
honest,
good
with you.
one. That's
It
funny.
might
I
have
don't know
been
if I've
that.
ever seen that.
I've been on here the longest, same with you, so I remember that.
Yeah, you
so
followed
much.
me longer than I think anybody
We
else has.
knew each other long ago. I remember we were like that. I remember that after the 2017 loss to Pittsburgh, bro, everybody was like on edge. It was
Yeah, that was
so
rough.
bad. Like I could go back and look up like Travis and like Griff, and everybody was like fucking saying the most like obscene shit. If I had my original account, I remember like I was just like I was going off. I was ready to fight Daniel Winnick for what he did. Like
Yeah, that night was rough. My ex-girlfriend my girlfriend at the time, she's obviously like my long ex-girlfriend now, but at the time she was over my house for that game, and I was like, I just sat in silence after the game ended, and she like didn't know what to do, so she just left, and I just turned off the TV and I just went to bed. I don't think
She
I
breaks up
spoke.
with you. She's like, this guy's way too attached to a hockey team. I need to get out.
I don't think I spoke for like a solid 24 hours after that loss. Like I was just.
I didn't either. I went to
2017 was
school and was
probably
depressed.
the most depressing because it felt like it was really over. Like it really
that was
Yeah.
like that was my
felt like a
senior
nail
year.
in the coffin.
It was
And
so
like,
bad.
2017, like I remember even Joe Beninati said it when we had him on. He was like, at 2017 or even after 2018, I would have thought maybe 2017 was more equipped or prepared to win a cup. And then, that team obviously does not win a cup.
Yeah,
and then
Daniel
somehow
Winnick
we do
decided
the
to miss
next
a
year.
fucking breakaway on Marc-Andre
Yeah.
Fleury, and that just
And I mean,
all ended on
if they
hurts.
ask you like what team would you want to bring back right now, you'd be hard pressed not to say the 2017 team. Like that team was just ridiculous, but they couldn't get it done.
I've got a different answer for that one.
Well, I mean, you probably 2008, right? But
No, I would say the
No?
2014-15.
oh,
No,
that's
I
true,
was gonna
that's
go
true.
there. I was like, that team was unreal. They had
Also-
all those great defensive players. They had a great offense that was really run well by Trotz because the system. I remember that year we started off like ass, and everybody was like, "Oh, Trotz sucks," and then like all of a sudden, like after the Winter Classic, they just started rattling off every single win imaginable, and they like tore their way to the playoffs. I was actually like, man, they might actually win the cup this year. And then, Dan Girardi, your so-called great person, drove a puck towards the net, and Derek Stepan killed our season.
So great person.
He is. He's a really good guy. I can't say.
Yeah, I don't
I can't
give a
say
shit.
the blessings about him.
Also, since we're talking about tweets, I thought it made me think of this. You guys know that tweet where it's like, I just retweeted it because it made me think of it. The Penguins always have like 8 injuries and 12 call-ups I've never heard of. The call is like Malkin gains the zone with wingers and Mark Donkin Butts flip
50
it. And you
points.
look and they both have 47 points.
Yep.
I think that is my favorite hockey Twitter tweet ever.
That one's really good. That's acting the Foolman, I think. Is
Yeah.
It's so accurate though, because like every single year they have at least
Like,
one
who is
guy
Evan
that you didn't
Rodriguez, bro?
know. So Noah, you had another big fiasco around a tweet this year. It was after Vitek had a little bit of a shoulder injury in a game, and that day or that night or the next day, you had made a tweet saying that Vitek went through successful shoulder surgery and his return was to be determined or something along those lines. But the tweet ended up getting used and re-put out by a number of NHL reporters and personalities, and then it made its way all the way to the NHL Network on TV, and that was a big thing. You got blocked by Ian Oland, our friend from RMNB. We squashed that beef when we had him on this year. He unblocked you. That's good, but tell us more about that. What was that like?
I was actually at work when that happened. I was helping out a coworker run their because I work in Parks and Recreation, just a general term. I won't get into like the specifics of it, but I was helping a coworker run their adult like softball league. So I was there. I was literally scorekeeping for him and like helping him out because he needed help that night. And while I was doing that, I was just like, why don't I just I'll have a little fun. Like I'm sitting out here, I'm kind of bored. I'll have a little fun. So I put it out there. Yeah, and I didn't I normally, obviously I would always go for like NBC Sports Washington, but I figured I would mix it up and maybe go for something new, maybe throw it out there. And I thought the Capitals PR would get picked up like pretty quickly. Is like, all right, this is clearly not the Capitals PR. That was before Greg Wyshynski retweeted it, like I don't know, maybe 5 minutes into the tweet being alive, and that it really took off from there. So that was rough. And then I got blocked by Ian, and then they blocked me from the RMNB account. And I was like, I don't have beef with you guys. And then people started going after them because they blocked me, and I was trying to be like, please don't go after them. Like, they report on news and stuff like that, and their whole job pretty much relies on reporting things like quickly and accurately, and I kind of fuck with I kind of fucked that up. So I totally understood it, but I appreciate you guys squashing that beef with Ian because I think Ian's a good guy.
Yeah, we do a bit of therapy and group therapy sessions here on the Pizzas Here podcast.
I don't think Peter will ever unblock me. Peter's had me blocked for quite some time, so I don't think that's ever going to happen. But
one step at a time.
I saw one tweet where someone had imitated Samantha Pell, and they had said that Ovechkin was on COVID protocol. That is where I draw the line.
That was Xavier.
Xavier, yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was Xavier.
Xavier,
that is where I draw the line. Do not play with my Alex Ovechkin.
I even commented on that post from the PHP account. I was like, yeah, this is too far.
Yeah, I would never imitate Sam. I would never imitate Sam. Sam's a real one. Sam's a real one.
Definitely. PHP guest legend.
I went to the game.
I have a funny story about that VTech tweet. So I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh fuck! Should I just freeze?
No, you're good. Might have just frozen.
Now he just muted himself.
Okay.
So let's just keep going, and then when he gets himself situated, he can figure out something. Okay.
I
he's
was literally
back.
about to say something, you dick, and you muted me.
Jake was about to say something.
Wait,
Well,
Return
Jake,
of the King?
Jake had
Yeah.
issues, so I thought I'd say something. But go ahead, Jake.
I'm good now. I was saying a funny story about that VTech tweet. So I had like sat next to a Caps fan in like one of my classes last semester, and he's not on Twitter. So and like he DM'd me a screen. I don't know how he got the screenshot, but he DM'd me a screenshot of that tweet. And I just it was Noah's tweet. I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's all I said. Because I knew. Because obviously I'm on Twitter. So
Should have been like, yeah, I'm actually friends with that guy. It's not.
No, I
real.
didn't. I wanted him to believe it. I didn't say shit. Because I'm like good friends with him, but we just bonded over the Caps. But it was like, damn, that's crazy.
Your reach, Noah. Joey,
Yeah.
what did you have to say?
Random,
before we-
you reach
I was
random
gonna say,
kids
I
at
went
West
to the
Virginia,
I went
dude.
to the game yesterday, and I was like, I'm still, I don't know if people know this, I'm still dealing with a concussion, so I went to the game, and I was basically in my seat the whole time. But I was like, man, I should probably try to hit up Sam Pell, be like, hey, do you want to meet up at the game and like say hi? Because I'm like one of the hosts. She's been on the show
You
before.
think Sam Pell has time for you at the Caps game?
She has time to come on this fucking show. Yeah, she has time.
Not at the Caps. Not at the
Not
Caps
during
game.
a game, dog.
She's doing her job at the game.
She says hi to other people. I mean, I don't fucking know. Like, she said hi to like Jordan and Haley when they went. I don't know. I thought maybe it'd be nice to see her, but I just was like,
To be fair, I'm guilty of texting Joe Beninati at the Caps
don't
game
give me
asking if
that.
we could
You
get
tried
in
to
the
text her
box.
to get us into the box. You freaking.
I texted Joe B and was like, what are the odds that we can come say hi in the box? And he was like, no visitors are allowed because of COVID. So maybe in a year or two or something. But moving on, we're at the midway point of the season now. Obviously, the Caps started off really strong, and obviously the past couple weeks have been a bit of a rough patch for us, to say the least. This past week was actually pretty good. We got 2 overtime wins, our first and our second of the season. Never thought I'd be saying that if you had asked me a week ago, but I guess we'll just go through and do a bunch of mid-season awards, I guess. Like, so, you know, we'll do each of the ones for the Caps and say, if the season ended right now, who would you give the award to, or just who has earned it up to this point? And then we'll do some NHL awards. And again, if the season was ending right now, who would you give them to? So we'll start off. This one will probably be pretty unanimous for one person. Capitals MVP up until this point of the season. I'm going to go ahead on a limb here and say Alex Ovechkin.
Carl Hagelin. Oh shit!
If there's-
My bad.
if-
Fuck.
Damn, he's really reaching, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
I know that's not a hot take. So if there's anyone that disagrees, then go ahead. But if not, then we can just go to the next one.
I think the
Alex
biggest question,
Ovechkin.
Well, let me tell you about this guy, Carl Hagelin.
who's your non-OV MVP?
My non-OV MVP has got to be Kuznetsov, just
Yeah,
because of how much of a bounce
probably.
back year it's been.
Yeah.
We're going to do most improved in a few minutes, and he's going to be my pick, but definitely Kuznetsov. But Ovi's leading the league in points right now, and he's 36 years old, so that pretty much says it all. So this one, I'll let Jake start it off, just because I don't know, just because. But who's your least valuable player on the Caps up to this point?
I mean, come on.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna say
it's
Carl
pretty
Hagelin.
easy.
Well,
It's Carl Hagelin. I'm like, he sucks. I don't like
I
him.
honestly will say Carl Hagelin has not been the worst player for us this year, but just because of how much he's fucked up, it's got to be him. Like, it's just got to be. Because when he fucks up, it's so noticeable because we all pay attention to now. It's like Brooks Orpik. It's like whenever Brooks Orpik did something bad, we're like, motherfucker, Brooks Orpik. Like, Carlson would do the same thing.
Watch your mouth.
Hey, listen, if Carlson would do the same thing Orpik would do like 5 times in a game, but he would score, so he'd not care. It's basically Brooks Orpik is just like Carl Hagelin to what Ovechkin is. Basically, Ovechkin does what Carl Hagelin doesn't do. He scores.
Okay, so Noah, who's your pick for least valuable right now?
I think obviously, you know, all things aside, there's more important things in the game than just penalty killing. You can find a forward and coach. Like, one of these young guys can be coached to be a good penalty killer and also be able to like score goals. Carl Hagelin is just not.
AJF, bring him
Not
up.
worth
Hat trick yesterday.
AJF can't defend for shit.
I would say
Sure he
Hagelin
can.
or I would
He's
say
played like 4
Hagelin or
games. How do you
Kempney.
know that?
I would say Hagelin or Kempney. I know Kempney hasn't played a lot, but Hagelin or Kempney.
I don't think I'd say Kempney because I haven't been too displeased with him, and I mean his first few games back were actually surprisingly really good.
No, yesterday
considering he had been gone for so long.
He's been
yesterday.
great.
Well, yeah, I mean I'm not going to give someone the title off of one game though. Hagelin's done it multiple times, so I'm going to go with the general consensus and say Carl Hagelin. I agree with Noah in that while penalty killing is pretty important and we are good at it, so obviously he's doing something right in that aspect. I think there's a number of guys on this team that if you give them a month or two, or even really not that long, I feel like there's plenty of guys in our organization that could be coached up into being a good penalty killer. I mean, we've seen people like Evgeny Kuznetsov give good minutes on the penalty kill. I don't think unless the person's like Sean Couturier or like Eriksson Ek, like who are like notably like insanely good penalty killing defensive Selke worthy guys. Hagelin's not to that level to where it's like, okay, keep him in the lineup solely for penalty killing. I think there's people that we could coach into being good penalty killers that are somewhat competent on a breakaway, getting a shot off of the ice. But that's my 2 cents. But who'd you want to say, Will? Because you said it's not Hagelin.
I will say Ilya Samsonov. Because
Noah's gonna kill you.
I'm sorry. You look at like he's the guy we protected in the expansion draft. He's supposed to come in and be our number 1 goalie. He shows flashes of brilliance, and then it never comes together. And you look at guys like Sorokin and Shesterkin, and you're like, dude, like if this Caps team had Shesterkin or Sorokin, which is what Samsonov we were hoping he would be, we're cruising. We're going into the playoffs with our goaltender, and we're like, yo, let's do this shit. But as it stands,
they were
like,
both
yo.
ass at times too.
Dude, Sammy, when has Sammy been good since like his rookie year?
Joey's
He
got the
was good
concussion
this year.
glasses
He's
on.
been
Let's
good
ride.
this year, too.
I've
Back-to-back shutouts. Man.
I will say I'm just really tired. Like, even if he's not, like, apart from him not being perfect, the thing that pisses me off the most is that all of the Caps media outlets, every other week, they put out an article saying the Caps are doing this good, but they're hoping for more consistency from goaltenders. It's like, okay, we've been saying that for 2 years now, every single week. Like, we got to get to a point to where it's like, it's recognized it's not working out. We can't just keep hoping for consistency. If it's not coming in 2 years, it's not going to come in the foreseeable future, But obviously they're both young goaltenders. Obviously they're still pretty early in the goaltending career, like arc. Obviously people peak in their late 20s, early 30s as goaltenders. But at the same time, I'm like us having Ovi and Backstrom and our big 3 for only like a few more years now, them getting to the end of their careers. I'm not at a time right now where I want to be, complacent and okay with averageness and like waiting for, better things to come. I almost said gooder, but like we're not at a time in this organization to where we can be okay with average. We have 3, 4, 5 years left in our window of greatness with the best goal scorer of all time. We need an elite goaltender right now so we can take the most advantage of what we have, like you get what I'm saying, anybody?
Yeah, I don't want to like, obviously I won't go on too long about it because I know that we got other things that we got to get to, but at the same time, the thing that I've always said about the two of them, Samsonov and Vanacek, is that Ilya Samsonov has a very high ceiling. He's got a lot of potential. He's very athletically gifted. He's very talented. And yes, he's not consistent. He's not consistently that good. Like the Samsonov that we saw that had the back-to-back shutouts on that California trip, we don't see that Samsonov all the time. It's very inconsistent. Whereas Vitek is more consistent, but he is more consistently average to below average than anything else. He doesn't have that same ceiling that Samsonov does. And neither of them are going to take the reins like Laviolette wants them to, because anytime one of them has the slightest bad game, they're yanked and then they don't see him for another, week and a half. So there's no real way for them to establish any sort of consistency or any sort of, number 1, number 2 mindset when they're just constantly flipping back and forth. And obviously everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I don't see how the goalie with the most wins on your team right now can be your least valuable player when without him, they're not even a playoff team right now. mean, it's just every time Samsonov starts, they seem to win. They find ways to win. It might not always be pretty, but I don't think your least valuable player can be the guy who's gotten you the most standings points so far.
I
see that
will
as a lot
say-
of truth because
I will say, you guys might not agree with me, but I think I'd rather have consistent averageness than seesaw up and down, like very, very good or very bad. I think I'd rather have consistent averageness. That might just be me, but I'd rather go into a playoff game knowing, okay, our goalie might not, come out looking like Vasilevsky for 60 minutes, but he's going to keep us in the game and he's going to be consistently decent. Whereas going in with Samsonov, you're like, this guy's either going to have a Vezina game or he's going to look like he needs to be in a different country playing, but
They need better than both if they're gonna make a serious run. They need better than both,
I agree.
whether that be a Reimer or a Fleury or
We'll get there.
Quick.
make everybody know that we started the Marc-Andre Fleury to DC trend. That's Travis's doing and our doing. But if I have a least valuable player myself because none of your picks are mine. So does anybody want to tell me what happened to Lars Eller in the offseason? Did he get hit with a bus or something?
You're an idiot.
No, Lars Eller has been fine.
He's been good. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's been all right, dude.
No, I'm not having this. This dude is stealing power play minutes for no reason. He goes out there and does nothing. He gives us nothing, and yet he gets praised. He also looks incredibly lost on the ice, in my opinion. I don't know what the hell is going on with Eller. He looks like he has taken a massive step back for whatever it's worth. You could say he scored points and stuff. That's fine. His goal the other day against Boston was a fluke goal. It was literally going wide, and Omar put it in his own net by trying to stop it. Like, it was a fluke goal. I'm sorry. It's good that he scored, but it was a fluke goal. I very much don't know why he's still playing center when McMichael has proven himself to be a much better and more capable center than him. It's fine if he wants to stay on the line with McMichael, but putting him in that defensive position on the third line, when the third line's a lot more defensive at times, like that just feels like a terrible place to put him. Like, it makes no sense to have him there right now when McMichael has been better. He is creating more chances, and whenever he touches the puck, it seems like he is close to or around creating more chances. Every time Eller touches the puck, the fucking play dies and it goes the other way. I swear to God, yes, there were so many times where he touched the puck, and like even my goddamn mom, who hasn't seen hockey in months and years, could notice that Lars Eller looked way off, and it was like, it just is sad. I don't want Lars Eller off this team. He's still has a great chance to produce offensively with an incredible shot, and he's got great vision when he's able to control the puck and not like just completely prolapse on the ice. But it just makes no sense that he's taken the step back and he's consistently getting those minutes. We've seen what happens when people like McMichael make tiny errors. Hell, Kuznetsov last season when Laviolette was putting in a system was getting thrown down the lineup because he was making small, tiny errors. Other people are making errors, but like Eller is being held to different standards. Like he's being held to like fucking Garnet Hathaway is literally like a goddamn vacuum on the first line. Yet he still gets put there by Laviolette. Like, it makes no sense. So you have to understand that, like, if Eller's not working somewhere, you have to move him. And they just won't. And I don't know why.
Because he's not playing that. He's literally
is like
bullshit.
Sorry, you go. You first, Noah.
Go ahead, look up the stats. He's driving play this season. He has a Corsi above 50. That's good. I don't know
This is
what
your third line
games
center,
you're watching.
mind you.
Yeah, he's a third line center. I don't know what
Like,
games
he's not
you're
Connor
watching.
I definitely wouldn't put him as the worst player that we've had this year. But
I agree that McMichael needs a better role, but at the cost of Lars Eller, an experienced guy who helped win the Stanley Cup here and knows what he's doing.
I'm tired of this shit of experience. We have got 2 years until we're fucked. We need people who are ready to be good.
He's
as
good.
rookies.
He's playing well. I don't know what you want from the dude.
I feel like he's.
I agree with Will
he's
100%.
He's not gonna be putting up McDavid numbers at the third line center role. I don't think he should be on the power play over McMichael. I think we all agree on that. But to say he's the least valuable player this year is a stretch.
I don't know why Tom Wilson is on the power play.
Because Tom Wilson has an
In
incredible
the bumper
shot
spot. If you're gonna put Tom Wilson on the power play, throw him in front of the net and just have him stand there. The fact that he's in the bumper spot with Oshie when you need like a skill guy there, like every time they try to pass to him in the slot, he like misses the shot or makes a bad pass. Like if you're gonna put Tom Wilson on your power play, throw him in front of the net and let him just stand there. But putting him in the slot is the problem. Eller is not the problem with this power play. This the first
Well,
unit
the
doesn't even
problem
use
is that Ellers currently has the worst Corsi he's had since he came to DC, the worst Fenwick he's had since he came to DC. Basically, every advanced statistic is the lowest he's been since he came to DC. And I understand Eller is very important to this team.
I'm looking at this right now. That's not even
bullshit.
true.
I'm looking at it too, and it
It's
says he's
not
got the worst
true.
since he's been here. I'm not even fucking with you.
that speaks
will
more
s-
to, if that's true, that speaks more to how good he's been than how bad he is now.
his advanced stats
Yeah.
are getting worse.
His
But
lowest
they're still
Corsi
better
for
than a lot of
offensive
people.
is 2017.
He's not better than
2018,
Connor McMichael.
which
I
was
guarantee you,
26.5.
28
But that-
teams
okay,
in this league would trade for
saying
Lars
that-
Eller as their third center.
Saying that Lars Eller is better than Connor McMichael does not equal he's the worst player on our team.
I don't
Anyways.
want to fucking Hagler, man. Okay.
All
I
right.
wanna
Yeah,
be
there you
different.
go. There you go. Something good. All right.
Shut
So this one's also probably going to be a pretty general, pretty agreed upon vote. But for most improved player from last year, I'm going to go with Evgeny Kuznetsov. Obviously, last year, no one's forgotten yet. The entire Caps Twitter.
I
fan
filled
base,
out the apology form. All right.
the entire Caps fan base, excluding me,
shit.
other than me and a couple other people, wanted him gone. A lot of people wanted him out of DC. A lot of people wanted him traded. A lot of people wanted him put up for the expansion draft to go to Seattle. People were not happy with Evgeny Kuznetsov. And to be fair, it was probably one of, if not his worst years that he's had. It was a bad year, but he's come back this year and bounced back in a very strong way. And he's been our number 2 points guy the entire year pretty much. And let me just get that number. So obviously OV is leading our team by 17 points over the
And the
second place
NHL.
guy,
Don't forget it.
and the NHL. But Evgeny Kuznetsov is second with 41 points. He's gave us some very, very big goals this year. He's played just a lot better than last year in pretty much every way. I think he's been more sound defensively. He's been more sound offensively. He's looked quicker. He's looked more agile. He's looking like the player that we all fell in love with in 2018. And, he's just showing us that he's the elite player that he once was again. So that's obviously very happy for me and everyone else here, because if Kuzi isn't playing as good as he is right now, Ov wouldn't be leading the league in points. Although that hurts to say, obviously Ov is elite on his own and is Ov on his own, but I don't think he'd be having the numbers he does right now if Kuzi wasn't playing at the level he is. So he definitely gets my vote.
I'm not gonna disagree.
I'm gonna be real with you. It's Kuznetsov. I will say that there's a couple other people that you could make a somewhat case for. Like, I think TVR is really good. I think it's great that he's getting his chance, but like,
He wasn't here last year.
Yeah, he
I'm
was.
gonna go.
Oh, you have to leave.
I'll say it. Nick Jensen.
Yeah, Nick. He was my second pick.
Yeah, Nick
He's my
Jensen.
second.
I thought
I
Nick
think
was great last year too.
he was good
was
last
good
year. But I
last
feel like
year,
a lot
but
of
he
people
hasn't
still
improved.
kind of wanted him out for some reason. Like, I thought he looked all right, but like I think he's been way better this year
Dude,
than
what
he
is
was last
happening
Me
in
and-
the NFC Championship game right now?
Me
I
and-
just
me
saw
and-
the
Brady
Jackson.
I just
fumbled
saw.
and Stafford fumbled. Like,
Me and Will were on Twitter arguing with somebody about Nick Jensen being our best defensive defenseman the other day, and the guy was trying to say that that he trusts John Carlson more on defense in the defensive zone than Nick Jensen, and we thought that was hilarious. But yeah, Nick Jensen is definitely very well improved. Zdeno Chara definitely helped mold him into a lot better player, and he's definitely been a good surprise this year.
Jensen
But,
should have drawn 6 penalty minutes against Brad Marchand in what was like not even half a game.
Look,
There was one play where it should have been a double minor. It was called a single minor, and there was one play where he like swipes the stick. I don't know how, like he literally swipes Jensen's stick and it didn't get called. But he could have very well drawn 6 penalty minutes against Marchand in like 30 minutes.
Noah,
that's
do you agree
impressive.
with Kuzi, or is it someone else for you?
Yeah, I agree with Kuzi.
All right.
I was about to say you're sacrilegious. You don't agree with Kuzi. You've been one of the goddamn most loyal Kuzi people in the world.
So yeah. So they actually were having this discussion on the Caps post game a few nights ago after one of our games. But who would you guys say is our best rookie this year? The main people in the discussion are Faravari, McMichael, and Protus. At least that's what I'm seeing.
Brodus.
I think there's an
Yeah,
argument
Protus.
for Protus and McMichael, but I'm definitely going to say Faravari.
Yeah, Faravari.
You guys might not agree with that, but I definitely say Faravari. He had a career high like 25 minutes or something yesterday, or like 28.
He was insane yesterday.
I
He
can't
was
remember. I can't remember the number, but it was something like really high, like 26 or 28 minutes, and it was his career high. they threw him in from not being an NHL player to this year being a rookie on the first line pairing with Karlsson. And I think he's excelled in that role. He's looked like a sound NHL, a timely player, someone that knows what they're doing. And he hasn't been an issue by any means for me, at least. And I think his defensive soundness and just, like athletic ability in the sport of hockey, like has helped Karlsson's game because, having Faravari, someone who's sound defensively and good both ways in the back with Karlsson allows Karlsson to push up more and play to his strong suits of offense, which is what we pay him for. So Faravari's been good in his own sense, but also because he's helping Karlsson play better in the offensive look of things. But if
I'd
you
go
guys,
Protus.
Yeah, I'm still going Protus.
I think
Yeah,
Protus has been
that's
impressive.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think there's an argument for all three of those guys: Faravari, Protus, and McMichael. I mean, McMichael has had glimpses of greatness and looking like he could be a star player that we want one day. And I mean, Protus has also come out of nowhere under the radar and has been a very good player for us at times. He's had minutes on the top line.
What the?
He's had minutes on the top line.
They
and
score, Jake.
Has done a lot of things.
They
But,
call a penalty. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about football. But I think there's an argument for all three of them. So I mean, I'm not gonna completely disagree with you guys on saying Protus or McMichael. But then next we have best defender. So or no, do you want to say anything else about Protus or
No,
that's your pick?
yeah,
Okay.
that's just my pick.
Gotcha. So best defender. I'm gonna go ahead and say Nick Jensen. Hopefully people agree with me on that, but
I'm gonna say Orlov.
I know.
I was
I
gonna
know.
go
It's between
Orlov.
those two for me.
I
I
think-
think
I-
I'm going Jensen.
Yeah,
I'm going
I
Jensen,
agree.
man.
I agree with all of you in that it's between those two. I think Carlson's been good at times. Obviously, he's our highest point scoring defenseman, but that's expected at this point. Being John Carlson, paying him $8 million to be an offensive talent. So there's definitely good things there, but his defensive game hasn't been the best. I think Faravari's been really good at times too. Obviously, like I said, but I think Nick Jensen and Orlov have been our best too. I think you could argue both sides on that also, but I'll say Nick Jensen just because of how good he's been defensively. I mean, the guy was leading the league in plus minus by an insane number. It was plus 20 or something at some point, but obviously that's not the whole story. But I really like Nick Jensen, and I also think Orlov's been great at times, so I can see both of those also. All
Yeah,
right.
I think Orlov. The biggest thing about him is I think he's generally becoming one of the best two-way defensemen in all of the NHL with how incredible his offense has come and the fact that defensively he's never really been a problem this year defensively. I can't think of one time when he was the problem defensively. He and Jensen may be one of the best shutdown pairings in the NHL. I'm not even fucking kidding. Their numbers are incredible. And obviously Nick Jensen isn't a big offensive guy, but when he's needed to, he's able to bring the puck into the zone and play there, which allows Orlov to be more of the catalyst of the offense. And it's really, I mean, obviously Carlson's our offensive leader on defense. There's no taking that away. His offensive instincts are way better than Orlov's, but defensively, you want to fundamentally sound like our best overall defenseman with everything in the one. It's Orlov easily because he's offensively great. He's defensively great. And, he doesn't really make many mistakes, if any mistakes. Is he still on COVID or is he was he suspended
He was
yesterday?
suspended.
Oh, he's
I
back.
think he's
Yeah.
off it now.
Yeah, yesterday was the last of the games because he didn't play yesterday. So
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
need him against Vegas. So.
Yeah, he's definitely been really good this year.
hell yeah.
So let's talk about the NHL as a whole. Again, for this first one, I think all of us are going to make the same pick. The Hart Award, League MVP. I'll go with our boy Alex Ovechkin.
It's got to be over.
And I've said this
Ovechkin.
before that even if someone like McDavid or Draisaitl finishes with a couple more points with him, I think you still give the award to Ovechkin just because one, our team has been a lot more successful than the Oilers, especially in the last couple weeks. But also just the fact, like we've said a million times, is that he's 36 years old doing all of this. I mean, Draisaitl and McDavid are in the primes of their careers. They're supposed to be putting up these numbers, but time and time again, people have said Ovechkin's going to burn out. Ovechkin's not going to put up these numbers again. His time's over, but he comes back and slaps them in the face and leads the league in points at 36 years old. So that's awesome. But
I think I would argue
Huberto's
that
also really up there now too.
yes, I would argue that Huberto is second, and I think my third vote would actually go to Shesterkin. The Rangers are an average team without him.
Yeah, Shesterkin's the best.
like that
That's gonna be
take.
my pick for that. It's absurd that he's not an all-star. That pisses me off.
Yeah, that was
He's
ridiculous.
not. I didn't
Yes,
know that.
No, he's not
Shesterkin
even
is
in the
the-
last man in vote.
I did not know that.
Because they put Zibanejad in the last man vote and he got it, but he
Oh.
rejected it. He rejected it for some reason. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shesterkin has taken an average Rangers team and turned them into the second.
Oh my
or
God, the
second best team in
Rangers
the Metro.
are getting abused 5-on-5. It's unreal. They're
Yeah,
just-
and they're just
and
there's
it's
just
a lot of
different quality.
Shesterkin. Honestly, if there's a goaltender that's winning the Vezina or the Hart at the same time, it's going to be Shesterkin. I'm sorry. I don't think Jari has got way too much talent around him. Vasilevsky it's expected at this point. And I don't really think there's anybody else in consideration right now for that kind of award, But
For
I
the
think
Vezina?
for the Vezina,
yeah,
yeah.
no,
Oh,
Vasilevsky
you
and
are
Anderson
forgetting
are in.
somebody.
Yeah, Vasilevsky Anderson is also in contention.
Oh, you're
Well,
forgetting somebody
Carolina's
too.
system is so
Who
perfect.
are
It's-
you going with now? Because we
Really?
can basically just go to Vezina because
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're talking about it. I have a gap
so-
in mind.
So for Vezina, it's either Shesterkin or UC Saros.
Fuck that.
He's
Saros
up
is
there,
my
too.
pick. Saros
Yeah.
is my pick.
Saros is second in my opinion.
Saros has
But I
been-
think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think Shesterkin is very notably in first because I understand that the Preds are not a great team without Saros, but the Rangers are literally contending for the President's Trophy while being a terrible 5-on-5 team because they have a brick wall in net.
Yeah,
But
he's
I agree
absolutely
Saros.
carrying them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shesterkin's
Yeah,
absolutely carrying them.
I
It's just-
think it's going to be Lundqvist 2.0 if we run into them in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie.
Oh god.
I
Oh,
agree with
God.
Will. I think Shesterkin gets the Vezina
Slow
this
down,
year.
everybody.
Again, like agreeing with what Will said, they're an average team without him. Their defense, even though they have the reigning Norris winner, isn't the best, especially 5-on-5. So, like Noah said, Shesterkin's been carrying them to a good extent, and he's been unbelievable. It's an atrocity that he's not an all-star, but he is absolutely insane, and it really, really pisses me off that we could have drafted him and didn't.
Yeah.
But
I think the only thing that could separate him and Saros from winning the Vezina is Saros is playing way more games than Shesterkin is right now, and if he keeps up playing the way that he is, I think they're going to take that more into consideration than, even though Shesterkin is carrying the Rangers, I think that the way the NHL hands out awards, they'll probably give that to Saros if he ends up playing like 50 games, which he almost certainly will end up playing more than 50 games for the Predators this year, where I don't know if Shesterkin reaches that for the Rangers. Maybe, maybe not. He could. I don't know. That's the only thing. I mean, there's nothing against either of them.
I
It's
mean, the
just
difference in
yeah.
games played right now is 1. Saros has 36, Shesterkin has
25.
35. It says. Am I looking at a different stat sheet?
We
Oh,
might be.
this might be last year. Oops. Wait. Let me check the different stat sheet. But I would still-
I think it's Shesterkin's to lose at this point. I
Yeah,
really
I
don't
agree.
think. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think Saros is impressive for sure, and I think he's definitely going to be in the top 3. But I think Shesterkin, considering how his team is actively trying to get him scored on every single game, I think he definitely deserves it because they're
Roman
5-on-5.
also like, I mean, Adam Fox has obviously been good this year. He hasn't been doing as well as last year, but UC Saros has an arguable Norris winner this year in Roman Josi in front of him, so that definitely helps. But you got to take that into consideration also. But I Shesterkin's my pick. But
I have
Saros is
both of
also
them on my
good.
fantasy team, by the way.
No, that's
My
nuts.
goalies are carrying my fantasy team.
That's lucky.
Dude, I don't even
I'm
start
so
goalies.
lucky.
Dude, I literally don't start goalies in fantasy just because they always do negative like every game. Like they go negative more often than positive in my league for some reason, so I don't even put them in. But yeah,
my team's a tank.
so I just brought up Norris, so let's do that one next. But who do you guys have for the Norris? I'm going Cale Makar.
EA taking my pick once again.
Shit.
I mean, nah, this one's supposed to like have mutual picks. This is
I
a
know,
thing where it's like
yeah.
we're supposed to agree.
But mine's Cale Makar too. I think he's been playing.
Cale
unreal
Makar
this
is like
He's so
Cale Makar, there was some stat. It's like he's like on pace to like get like the highest points as a defender since like Bobby Orr or something. Like he's like putting
There
up
are
numbers
players
the
with more points
closest.
than him.
It's like goals or something then, because it's like
His
because he's on
goals
pace.
stats
He's
are
on pace for a shit ton of goals. Like he's let's see.
He's
He
on
has
pace
six.
for well
He
above
has,
a 30-goal season.
he has 16 goals right now as a defender, second most on the Avalanche. That one goal he had against Kirby Dach in overtime was filthy. That's a goal of the year candidate. It's probably not going to win it because it's probably going to go to either one of McDavid's ISO goals or the Zegras flip goal. But that goal was insane, and I think Kyle McCarr gets it this year. You could also argue for what was it? You can argue for Roman Yossi. You can argue for a couple other people like Hedman just because he's Hedman, but I think Cale McCarr gets it.
I actually have a different Avalanche defenseman. It's Devon Tays.
He's not going to win the Norris.
No,
He's been
have you
awesome.
seen his stat? His stats are insane. There's like a stat that I think Dominic, I don't know his last name. It's Dominic L. He tweeted about it, and he said like basically he like goals on the ice when he's on the ice and against them when he's on the ice, it's like 6-1. The Avalanche are scoring like when he's on the ice. So
I think
depending on who's there,
Aaron Ekblad is also a candidate.
like it's incredible how
I'm giving
much.
it to Cale McCarr.
Yeah, can I finish?
Sorry.
It is basically like insane how great he's playing. Like I talked about how Dmitry Orlov's so gifted. Like this dude is just Dmitry Orlov on crack. He's like literally doing everything he's doing, but insanely better. And yeah, offense is a big deal when talking about the Norris. But like when you look at the fact that like when he's on the ice, basically everything happens for the Avalanche and nothing happens for the opposing teams. That's fucking incredible. And I think Devontae should be getting some credit for the Norris and could possibly win it because of how little he's played. His offensive stats aren't even that terrible. He's a point per game player too, and he's not exactly like getting no chances. He's on the power play 2 unit. He's incredibly good. He's got 8 goals. What is it? 23 assists in 28 games played, and that's more than a point per game. In my opinion, he's going to get some credit.
Yeah, I think he's good, but I wouldn't give him the Norris. Noah, who would you say?
I kind of have 3 that I would be okay with winning it, and that would be McCarr, Hedman, and Fox. This would be my 3, and I think Hedman would actually deserve it this year. I think every other Hedman. 3. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, nothing's changed since last year for those 3 guys. If anything, they've all improved. So
yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think any of Hedman's Norrises were like deserved, but he would actually.
Yeah, this one I think is justified. I think there might have been one more that was like, okay, you'd kind of deserve that, but this one he would deserve.
Do you guys think McAvoy should be in the discussion?
You gotta have more points if you want to win the Norris.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, for the Norris Award, you do, but who do you guys think for the Selke?
Doesn't matter. They're going to give it to Bergeron.
Austin Matthews.
It doesn't matter.
Don't give it to Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews deserves
He's up there. He's up there.
Ugh.
He's been insane.
Why are we praising Austin Matthews?
I would like somebody other than Bergeron to win it. So, yeah, sure. Let's go Matthews.
Hey, give it to my man, Carl Hagelin. My man, Carl Hagelin, the GOAT. Absolute stellar defensive play. He doesn't score any goals for us and doesn't let goals against us. It's perfect.
Unless his own net is empty.
Of course, then he does that.
Who else is there that like? I mean, Barkov won it.
Couturier, you said Eriksson Ek.
Couturier could be up there.
I think Eriksson Ek might get
Eriksson Ek could have a good chance of winning it.
Honestly,
Eriksson Ek was my sleeper pick when we started this whole year. That was my sleeper for the Selke. So I'd like to get that win. That'd be nice, but I don't know if they'll give it to him. But I mean, because Bergeron's in the league, so it's hard for anyone else to win
defensive component.
All right,
he's not going to win it, but who's actually good, like defensive wise, is Rasmus Dahlin. He's not bad, but he's not going to win.
Pretty good. He's done a lot better this year.
He's a defender, isn't Selke for only forwards?
Oh, it's only offense. Yeah, forwards. My bad. He's a defender.
Yeah, but he had a really nice assist the other day.
It was like a fake slap shot.
Fake slap shot through the legs. That was sweet.
It was nice. I forgot he was a defenseman.
Yeah. He's their all-star.
America's team.
He's their all-star this year. All right, so this one's a pretty tight race, I think, still to this point. But for the Calder, I think the big 3 right now are the 2 boys from from Detroit, and then Trevor Zegras. So it's pretty much between Moritz Seider, Lucas Raymond, and Trevor Zegras. I think it could go to any of the three. I think it'd be cool for it to go to Seider because, it's rare for a defenseman to win it. But the points he's putting up in the first line defensive minutes he's putting up, I think, is really incredible. And I think he's going to be a Norris winner one day. But Lucas Raymond and Trevor Zegras have also been incredible.
Hey, who won the
so.
Calder
Seider
last year? I
deserves
kind of forgot about that. Who won the Calder last year?
Kaprizov, you're just trolling.
No, I literally I had a concussion, asshole. My memory's not that good.
Kaprizov is like your favorite player. I wouldn't expect you to forget that.
Fuck you. I'm not forgetting.
He won the Calder as like a 25-year-old, whatever.
Oh, don't be one of those people.
Bullshit.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
bullshit. It's bullshit.
Don't be one of those people. Good lord.
He played professional hockey for like 5 years before
Oh
coming
my
to the
god!
NHL.
Don't be one of those people. Yeah, it's
I
the
will be one of those
NHL. It's
people.
different. You think
I'm
if
allowed
that
to
was
have
the
an
case,
opinion.
Samsonov should have stepped in and won the freaking Calder in 2019, 2020 when he first
Luka
came up.
Doncic played overseas in Spain for years before coming to the NBA, and then he came to the NBA, and he's like, it's easier to score here, so it's whatever.
Yeah, because
But
you touch somebody, you get fouled. But
Yeah.
well, Kaprizov won last year. I think of your three, I kind of just think I like Seider the best. I think Seider is he's done a lot more. He's a much more fundamentally. I think he's a very sound NHL player. He's great defensively, and Detroit doesn't really have a lot of great defensemen right now. He's played top guy minutes, and I think that's really important. He reminds me a lot of Erik Karlsson a lot with how well he is offensively and how great he is defensively. He's got that. I got a feeling he's going to turn into something like that. Not like as good as Karlsson, but definitely what he could have done, like close to what he could do. But yeah, I got Seider.
the Red Wings are so spoiled, man. They had Nicholas Lidstrom for years, and now they got Moritz Seider.
They haven't been spoiled recently.
They haven't been spoiled, bro. They've been
I know,
turbo
but
ass the past
they've
few seasons.
had like elite defense, like franchise defensemen, and like once Carlson's gone, who do we have? We don't have a
Hey,
franchise.
Martin
defenseman.
Favavari, what the hell?
Martin Favavari is not a franchise defenseman, like elite caliber.
Well, not with that
We
attitude.
had some great guys. We had Mike Green back in the day.
Yeah. Brooks Orpik,
No, there's one other dude that I'm
Brooks
forgetting
Orpik is
about.
generational. You
Who
can't
was
get
like
another Brooks Orpik.
Matt
Who would you-
Niskanen, baby.
No,
Matt
Niskanen
Niskanen was
Orlov
really
is
good with us until his
amazing.
final year when he was just really
Nate
bad.
Schmidt. Nate
Carl
Schmidt,
Olsen.
I
Stanley
miss
Cup
Schmidt.
champion.
I miss Nate Schmidt.
Carl Olsen was good. Man.
Yeah.
He was good.
And then he went
So,
and shit talked us and got a shit ton of money from the
Hey,
Canadiens.
I mean, to be fair, he associates himself with the Caps now. I mean, he has a podcast called ALLCAPS, and I mean, like his profile pictures and everything are all still Cap stuff. So that's good. And we're trying to
have
get
you ever
him
seen
on
his
here
highlights
one
with the
day.
Canadians? That's a trick question. You can't. There are none.
Yeah, but Noah, who do you have for the Calder?
Tanner Jeannot.
Cole Caulfield.
The what's his name? The Predators dude?
Yep, Tanner Jeannot is my pick.
Cole Caulfield.
I like Tanner Jeannot a lot. I think he's a really good player.
Did he?
Playing on a team that's really kind of overperforming right now. I like Tanner
Yeah.
Jeannot. I mean, Seider or Raymond will probably get it, but I don't know. I think
No
Jeannot's
Zegras?
a good
No
player.
Zegras love?
He's a fine player. I like Zegras.
John Tortorella.
He's fun. Zegras is fun. I just think that there are a few guys this year who could probably go to. And
Yeah.
my pick right now is Tanner Jeannot.
All right.
I respect that.
Yeah. So this one, obviously it changes a lot throughout the year on who we think. And there's a number of people that we could say, but who are your guys' picks to win the Stanley Cup?
The Caps, ride or die.
Yeah, Caps.
Colorado,
Ride or
for
die.
sure.
All right, so who's your actual pick?
Oh,
Panthers. I'm going with the Panthers.
Colorado.
Avalanche.
I think it's going to be one of the three: Panthers, Colorado, or Carolina. I think
I
you
would never
could-
predict Carolina to win.
I
anything.
think
Fuck
yeah,
that.
I don't think
Fuck their
Carolina's
fans,
going to
too.
win it, but I think they could. I mean, I think you could even make an argument for the Bolts right now because of how good they've gotten lately, getting back Kucherov and Point, and obviously having an elite defenseman and an elite goaltender.
You'll have to find my
cetera.
body in Tampa Bay if they go 3. If they go
Yeah.
through, you will
They'd
have
be
to call
the-
the Coast Guard to find my body.
They'd be the first three-peat since the Islanders, but obviously I don't think anyone wants to see that happen, but I think it's a possibility.
Except that
I
tie
thi-
shit on.
I think Florida's a really safe pick, though. I mean, their plus minus right now is plus 50, which is insane.
It's fucking awesome.
That's absurd. I mean, but at the same time, Colorado's is plus 47 and Carolina's is plus 45. Obviously, that's not everything, but Colorado is third in the league in points standings right now, and they have a few games in hand on the top two, which is Florida and Tampa Bay. But if I had to make a safe pick, I think I'd go with Florida. But I think it's definitely doable for Colorado or Carolina. And I mean, I think even the Rangers have a shot. I don't want that to happen, but I think it's possible. But I don't think they're going to win a Stanley Cup solely on Shesterkin's back. But I think it'll go to a more well-rounded team like Florida or Colorado.
I mean, I think literally any team from the Eastern Conference could win.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out of the question.
My actual pick is gonna be Vegas. Vegas is gonna be my actual pick.
All right, Noah, it was nice having you on.
Yeah, get off.
I'll ask you to go.
I would love it for it to be Colorado. I'd love for it to be Washington, obviously, but Vegas is just wait till they get Eichel and
Yeah, that's
Eichel
really
is-
scary.
They're
I
gonna
don't wanna
Kucherov
see
him or
that.
something.
I think
Kucherov, I don't think it's the same. Kucherov had playoff experience. Eichel hasn't played a single minute of playoff hockey. I think it'll be
It's
interesting to
still
see.
an
Plus,
elite
they're-
player. It's
I
hockey.
don't give a shit.
they're
an
also
elite
missing
player.
Pacioretty and Mark Stone. Like once these
Stone's
guys
back.
come-
He came back already.
Oh, is he back?
I think Pacioretty's back too. I think the only person left is to get
known
back
Vegas
with
Knights
Eichel.
fan. Known Vegas Knights fan, Joey.
Shut up, man. I follow hockey. I got nothing better to do. I've been stuck in a goddamn room in the dark for like 3 weeks. This is ass.
So yeah, once they're like fully healthy again, man, that's gonna be a crazy team.
Yeah. So that brings us to everyone's favorite part of the show. This week it will be going to our special guest Noah. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Jeez.
Cheers to 2022 and resolutions you can actually keep up. How about having clean and shiny balls all year round? Our sponsors at Manscaped are here to save your balls this year and make the ball drop into 2022 the cleanest and sexiest ever. Set your first New Year's resolution with good intentions and join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code PHP for 20% off plus free shipping. Again, get 20% off and free shipping with the code PHP at manscaped.com and smooth out those balls.
It's bullshit. We can't see your face right now because that would have made it so much more fun.
Just use my Manscaped chapstick. It's not for your balls, it's for your lips. I know, common misunderstanding. Totally didn't put it on my balls or anything. That's a joke. But
Yo, this is for your balls, though.
yeah. Yeah, but
It's
go use
light.
our code. Go use code PHP at manscaped.com. Support your boys. Oh, whose mic is dying? That's awful. All right. So we got a couple more things about the Caps to talk about, and then we'll wrap things up. But what would you guys say has been the Capitals' biggest success this year?
Definitely the power play. It's just been amazing all year round.
Unironically, it's the defensive overhaul. The defense it got a total facelift in the offseason. Everybody looks better, and it's miles better than last year. It's incredible.
The rookies.
Yeah, I'd say how well they did just with an AHL team in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say our depth and like go rookies basically.
I think, I agree with you guys on the depth being a high point, considering how many people we worked into the lineup and out of it so many times, so many different combinations in the lines, so many different people getting high minutes, so many people getting low minutes, up and down and stuff. So that's definitely been impressive being at the standings that we're in right now, all things considered. But for mine, I'm just going to say the success of Ovechkin and Kuznetsov. I think, obviously every year going into the season as Caps fans, we have high expectations for Ovechkin and hope for good things to come. But I think just the fact that he's leading our league in scoring right now, like I've said, as a 36-year-old, is just mind-boggling and very happy for me. If he wins another Hart and a Rocket Award, that'll just be very happy for me, and everyone else. And just Kuznetsov's revenge tour and bounce back season he's been having has been amazing to see and amazing to watch. So hopefully that'll bring for more good things to come.
Yeah. On one hand, it is very nice. On the other hand, I kind of think this should be the status quo for Kuznetsov for what he can do. I'm not pissed off that like he's doing it and like, oh, this should always be. I'm just saying like, let's make this the status quo. I want to see seasons like this for the next few years for Kuznetsov, because if this is the kind of Kuznetsov we're getting with everybody healthy, when we get like Mantha, Oshie, the whole defense back, like this is going to be a very scary forward core and offense to face off against, because when they're fully healthy with all the weapons they have, that shit's going to be tough to beat. I don't think there's very many offensive cores that can, let alone rival it, than beat it. I mean, Tampa probably, but I mean, fuck Tampa Bay. We own them.
So that'll bring us to our biggest struggle this year. I think the big two, or the big one, is definitely our power play.
The power play.
I said enough 2 weeks ago.
Power play.
I feel like we
power
can't
play.
say that enough. Blaine Forsythe has got to go. We have the number one power play player of all time on our team, and we somehow can go 3 straight power plays in a row without a single shot on target. That's really, really pisses me off. But yeah, that's just upsetting. And I think there's a big issue with the strategy that we use going into the power play. Like Will said earlier, Tom Wilson shouldn't be in the spot that he is on the power play handling the puck. He's not a puck handler. That's not his forte. Connor McMichael should be getting minutes on the power play. He led Hershey in power play points when he was on the power play there, and they used the same power play system as us. So that doesn't make much sense to me. There's just questionable decisions with our power play, and it's obviously not working very well. So things need to change there. But goaltending has also been an issue. I mean, we haven't had stellar goaltending performances consistently at all this year. So I don't think we can win a cup with the goaltending tandem we have right now, as much as that hurts to say. But yeah. If anybody else has anything else.
Staying healthy.
I was about to say, if we can stop getting everybody injured every 5 minutes, that'd be awesome, because we had to start Justin Schultz on the top pairing of defense yesterday. That wasn't fun to watch.
COVID's also been a bitch. That's also been a struggle.
I think COVID, everybody's dealing with that. That's just kind of something we can't control at this point. We can do our best, but
I know. Obviously, it's just been a bitch.
I think power play. I think goaltending. One more thing, and this is a personal preference. I'd very much like for them to just stop making like bullshittery lines. Like, put the fourth line back together. It worked. Hathaway, Hagelin, and Dowd is a good line. Whether or not Hathaway can score is no longer a question. He can't. But at least they can play well together. I think McMichael, Eller, and I guess when Oshie comes back is going to work very well. That's a great like kind of third line grind it, or third line just like bust it and score. They're all 3 penalty killers. I think once you get everybody back healthy, I've tweeted about this before. I think Protas has earned a spot on the second line with Wilson and Backstrom. I think he has. I don't think there's a part of me that's like, nah, throw him back in Hershey. No, this kid is definitely an NHL player. And
You're putting Protas on the second line over Oshie?
Yeah, I am.
I
mean, here's the thing. Oshie's been injured a lot this year, and when he's been injured, Protas has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that second line. And I got to be honest with you, I'm very impressed how he's played. He's had some very important goals. He's had some very great games. He's really never been an issue. I think if you want to, you can put Mantha on the top line. I think Mantha should be on the top line. I don't think, no. What do you think? I was going to ask you, do you think that too? Because you are another person who's a Mantha believer. And yes. I think he could work very well on the top line. Put him, Oshie, and Kuznetsov. That could just be the utter like horse line that just starts like scoring every goal imaginable. That would be sick.
He should be on the power play too, but I guess that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah. Jinx. So like we said, goaltending has been a topic of concern, but if there was someone reasonable that you guys think we could go after on the trade deadline, who would it be?
Don't say
All right.
Don't say
time to crack open this can of worms right here. Okay. Some of you may not know this. I grew up a huge Braden Holtby fan. He's the reason why I became a goalie in the first place. They should not make that move. They shouldn't do it. It's nothing against Holtby, but they just should not. They shouldn't do it. To me, it's a step back rather than a step forward. Holtby is having a good year with Dallas, but ever since 14-15, you look at his numbers, he's been on a steady decline. It didn't end well in Washington. If you remember that series against Carolina, it didn't end well. There was another one too. The Islanders one. Sorry, I forgot about the bubble. The one in the bubble especially didn't go well. I think it's just best to just let sleeping dogs lie. I think now everybody wants Fleury to come to DC, and I think that's the move that makes the most sense if you can make it work cap-wise, whether that be a third team or whatever. Chicago's probably not going to make the playoffs. They're not good enough to. There's just a lot more other good teams in the West that deserve to make the playoffs over them, so they probably will look to trade Fleury at the deadline. Since they got him for nothing, they'd probably be okay with turning him into a second or third round pick, or maybe like 2 second round picks there, something like that, but nothing completely unreasonable. So I think they should go get Fleury. I saw somebody else earlier today say that they should get James Reimer. Reimer's having a good season in San Jose. The only issue with that is San Jose is currently in a wild card spot, and I don't know if they'd be willing to necessarily give him up, especially when they're fighting for a playoff spot. So I think Fleury would probably be, if any team is going to go get a goalie at the trade deadline, the biggest name is obviously going to be Fleury, first and foremost.
I would like Fleury just because I think he's still good enough, has a year or two left in him to be an elite goalie for us. But I also want Fleury for the comedic value.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh yeah, I want to see the
it would
city of
be
Pittsburgh
so
riot. I
fucking
want to see
funny to watch the entire city of Pittsburgh and the entire Penguins fan base just shit their pants.
Oh, it's full circle.
It would be hilarious.
I wish we got to see Lundqvist. Every time
Man.
Fleury,
Imagine
that is what's frustrating about last year is the whole goaltending injury situation probably
if
cost
we
us
had
a deep
the king,
playoff
it would have
run.
been fine.
Lundqvist
Can
would
you
have
imagine if
different.
Imagine if we played Pittsburgh in a playoff series this year with Fleury as our starting goaltender.
They're going to trade for Holtby and just get this payback. They're going to trade for Holtby.
I'm fine with that. We'll shell them. We'll shell them.
They'll just be like, we got your
that's
fucking
that would be a terrible move on the Penguins.
That would
no,
be a
because the Smiths
nightmare.
kind of play like shit, and they could really use a backup goaltender. I'm not going to lie. I think bringing Holtby for Pittsburgh wouldn't be a terrible move.
They're not going to give up their depth for a backup goaltender.
Well, shit, yay, look at us. We got 2 backups starting in our fucking roster right now. We don't have much
Yeah,
of a
but
choice.
they have a solidified starter. So
Yeah.
they're not going to give away assets for someone who's not going to be getting half.
I
of
just
the
think
start.
I think Fleury's a name, definitely. I've heard Reimer. No.
Yeah, from Noah 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, I've heard of it, man. Shut up, dude. God damn it. But there's another name that's a little bit interesting.
Chester can get him.
No, can I just fucking say the name? God damn it. I'm about to mute you myself. It's actually Jonas Korpisalo in Columbus.
No.
I think he's a possible guy that could be brought in. I don't know what his current cap situation is, but I know he's not making as much as Fleury. He's also young and could possibly be brought in as like a sort of solution because he does have playoff experience. He played in the bubble and he played really well in the bubble. I'm pretty sure he was the one that was part of that like insane 5 overtime game against the Lightning forward core, which by the way is probably one of the best forward cores in all of the NHL. I think he definitely will be really good. I think behind this defense, any goaltender of his caliber or above is going to be significantly amazing because they won't face a lot of high danger chances. And as long as they can handle the few that come their way, we'll be fine. Like I said, though, we are a team that's not really built around, we need goaltenders to save us. We just need a goaltender to not suck. Our forward core, our defensive core is incredible. As long as they're healthy and playing well enough, we've got what we need to win the cup. We just need a goaltender not go back there and let off the stupidest goals ever.
I have some unfortunate news for your take.
Korpisal's been terrible.
Yeah, unfortunately for that take, his GSAA this year, which is probably the best stat for analyzing goaltenders, is negative 13.1, which is significantly worse than both Samsonov and Vitek combined times 2.
Yeah, he's
What's
bad.
Flurries? What's Flurries?
Flurries is
Probably bad because he's on Chicago. He's getting like
So you want to then think
1,000
about that.
shots
Chicago's
a
defense
game.
is terror is at least is
Korpisalo
somewhat
sucks,
decent.
bro.
Dude,
Like,
dude, Columbus's defense is ass. They got
Marc-Andre
Wetzky.
Fleury has a positive GSAA this year of the
get him.
3.1.
Go get him.
And I
Go get
think,
him.
I think
Fleury then.
both,
I'm not talking because apparently
I
my
think
concussion
both
made me
VTech
stupid with my hockey takes. So
I
I'm
think
done
both
talking.
VTech and
This-
Samsonov are still slightly under negative.
Go get Flurry. I've heard enough. So who would we have to give up though for that? Because I
Probably
mean,
just picks.
but like, what about the cap space? Would we wouldn't have the cap
I mean,
space?
couldn't you
would
get
we?
him? Couldn't
We
you get him
could
at
if
like
they-
50% retained, like 1/4, or
I
like
saw
at like
what's
the
his
last
name, the
fourth of
guy-
the season?
I'm
You
sorry.
could get him for like 1.5 million on the
The
on the hit, right?
So sorry again. The point is, there's someone we've had on our show before. I think it's Blake, Stat Guy Blake. He brought up like a package that actually doesn't look too bad. It's I think Alexiev.
It was
I think
Alexiev and like Sprong and Hagelin or something.
Sprong,
like a bunch of
Hagelin, and then
picks.
and then I think like a second round pick for like 50% retained.
I don't think you need to give up that much.
What'd you
That's
say?
a lot. That's a lot. I don't think you need to give up that much. I think a pick in one of these left-hand defensemen that you have jamming your system would probably do it. Probably a high enough pick, like a second-round pick, and then a left-handed
Give him the second round
defenseman.
pick. We don't need that shit.
So
And
then,
then-
if we trade for Flurry, what are we doing with one of our two guys in the tandem right now?
Back
Would we-
to the
You
taxi
probably
squad.
send them to Chicago in that package.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
you
that's
probably
what I-
probably
you know
do
what?
send
Okay.
one. You probably
That's
do
what I
send
would
one.
think.
And
Well,
I
then
would
here's the thing,
imagine
who is it? Who is?
I would imagine they send Samsonov, and the reason why I say that is because they spent a second round pick to get VTech back from Seattle. So I mean, that's just poor asset management to waste the second round pick. I mean, it's not really wasting them because I think they had 3 after the Dillon trade, and they sent 1 to get Vanacek back. But I think they would rather not kind of throw that away since they spent that second round pick on him. They would probably send Samsonov. But that's not me saying what I want to happen. That's just me saying what I think probably makes the most sense.
I mean, but they
in that
protected
scenario.
Sammy in the first place over Vanacek. So at that time,
Exactly.
they did value him
It's
more.
it's
I don't know
difficult to
where they
decide
would stand now,
because-
to be honest. Like, I don't know if you were to hold a gun to Laviolette's head and say one of your goaltenders is going to Chicago tomorrow. Who's it
I
going to
think
be?
they personally would take Samsonov because the upside is there. They don't know.
I-
We
yeah,
don't
I feel
entirely
like-
know Vanacek's upside, truthfully, yet.
If
I think we'd
Seattle
give up
didn't
VTech.
if Seattle didn't have a completely inept expansion draft, then we wouldn't be here in the first place. They would probably still have VTech in Seattle, and the Capitals would have Copley or Fucali backing up Samsonov. But here we are, and now they have to make a choice.
Do you,
if they
do you
decide-
think maybe we can give up Fucali?
No.
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 They're going to want a guy who's shown, like, can back
Yeah.
up in the NHL. And both of our goalies have shown, like, you would be very happy with either of them as your backup, you know?
Who's
So-
Chicago's backup?
I don't
Delia?
No.
Was it?
It's Delia.
What I was gonna say also is, like, when you talk about these trade packages, nobody who's a rebuilding team wants Carl Hagelin. So if you're gonna try to get
Well,
rid of
I
Carl
mean-
Hagelin's contract, you're going to have to throw in a
It's,
pick there.
their backup is Kevin Lankinen.
Yeah.
Lankinen.
Wait, isn't he decent?
He's not bad.
Well, then I bring up maybe if you want to get rid of a contract that like isn't I wouldn't bring that up because
You're gonna say Schultz.
no. I'm not gonna say Schultz.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Eller, but you know
No. fuck you.
I think the package that Blake brought up is pretty good because it probably at least it convinces. Like, I like Alexiev and I want him to be here, but I feel like with how much of a logjam we currently have on defense, considering like how good everybody is, like I think there's a strong chance we're bringing back Schultz next year. There's a strong chance just because he's played so well and he's like consistent in the sense that he isn't like getting injured or COVID every like 3 weeks or something. So, I think if you could package him, maybe like in like a dark timeline, they want more, and maybe we have to sacrifice like AJF for it. But
No,
Like-
not cool with that.
well, I mean,
I
then
want him in
we're
the
gonna not have
NHL
a
right
goaltender.
now. I want AJF in the NHL right now. Get rid of Hagelin. Put AJF.
You
in
could
the
also
lineup.
see if like Leeson maybe convinces it. We're at Leeson as one of the like sweeteners for it, because I mean it's gonna be a combination of Alexiev, Leeson, Protas or AJF is going to make the trade happen. I don't think Protas is happening because he's become an established part of the roster. I don't think AJF
Are you
is
talking
happening.
about for Fleury?
Yeah.
No, no, it's not going to cost that much. They got him for literally nothing. Anything that they can get for Fleury is gonna be better than losing him for free in the offseason. I think the most that you're going to have to give up is going to be whatever gets them to take 50% salary.
I think the issue is that you're going to have a potential bidding war because there are other teams that are going to want Fleury. I mean, I know Edmonton looks really bad right now, but they're a name that I've seen brought up a lot when you talk about Moff. I'd have to think I think Boston, for example, they would love to grab Fleury for cheap if he's available. So it's not necessarily what the Blackhawks are willing to give up. I think you could have a situation where come the deadline, you've got 3 or 4 teams that are like, we really want Marc-Andre Fleury. I think Edmonton, if they're close to the playoffs, will definitely be talking. I think Boston is a team that could come asking. I think Washington is a team that's definitely going to be asking. So, you look at these teams that need a goalie, and I feel like there could be a few bidding for him. I don't think he's actually worth that much to Chicago, but it's not about what he's worth to Chicago. It's about what he's worth to Boston or to Edmonton or to Washington. Or I'd have to look at the Western Conference, but maybe the Minnesota Wild would like to grab a Marc-Andre Fleury type goalie. So I don't think it's as simple as what the Blackhawks want for him.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. So is there anything else you guys have to say on that topic?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm pretty good.
Nah.
Yeah, I'd love to see Fleury in a Caps uniform. That would be awesome. So this past week, like I said before, we somehow managed to get 2 overtime wins, but couldn't get a single overtime win in the season up until this point. So that's cool. Tuesday, we won at home against the Jets 4-3 in overtime. Thursday, we lost to the Bruins, who lately own us, 4-3. And then Saturday, we won in overtime against the Sens 3-2. So that's nice, seeing some overtime wins for us. But I guess we can go. So Jake had to go. He has an interview. But for the 4 of us, we can pick one player that we liked and one we didn't like and then wrap things up. My pick for is Nick Backstrom, solely because of the goal yesterday. That was
Gorgeous.
It was an incredible goal from him pickpocketing the defender to get the puck in the first place. And then his composure just to sit there for 6 minutes and make his move to the backhand and then just perfectly wait to the right time to flip it back. Just top cheese, top left. It was beautiful. So that was awesome. But yeah, you guys can go.
I'm just going to say Ovechkin is the player I liked. He scored 4 goals in the last 4 games. He has a point in the game that he didn't score a goal. I mean, I love to take him for granted because he's the greatest goal scorer of our generation, but he's been amazing, and I need to give him credit for that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with – I'm actually going to go
whatever happened to letting our guest go first?
No, it's just one of the boys at this point. He's a guest. I think – Favari. I love Favari. He's been playing so amazing. He's been such a great asset. The fact that he was committed to being a part of this roster before the season, and he's an NHL defenseman. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no more of this he's got this. No, he's developed his game. I really, really, really hope at some point they try him out on the power play. I really do. I think he could do some interesting stuff with his speed and his really underrated shot. It's really good. So yeah, Martin Favari. No, it's your turn, buddy.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yep.
Kuzi. Cooper Cup, holy shit.
Gotta go Kuzi.
That's a good pick.
Cooper Cup, man. Oh my God.
Oh, come on. You were giving Jake shit
I know,
earlier.
I'm
I was going to say
sorry.
something. That's
I'm
fucked
sorry.
up. That's fucked up. That's
I'm
fucked
sorry.
up. That's really fucked up, bro.
All right.
I wanted to say something because I just saw that shit, bro. That's actually crazy.
I'm sorry. I just really like Cooper Cup. So that's
Nah. You owe Jake a written apology,
I'll shut up.
bro. No, let's watch this
sorry,
field goal. Let's see what happens. Is this
But,
game gonna choke?
All right. So let's go back. So who's our person we didn't like this past week? You can go first, Noah.
didn't like Cholowski. I'm kind of tired of seeing him in a Capitals jersey.
It's a fair pick. Who do you guys have? Because I don't know.
I'll take Michael Kempney. He just did not play well in both the games. I literally, being at the arena yesterday, I got to watch him get fucking run down like by like a bunch of 12-year-olds on offense. It was crazy. Like I think he needs to be back on the taxi squad or Hershey. He's not a defenseman on this team right now. He's not capable of it right now because the injuries he's playing. But like I think once everybody's healthy, he's the one that goes down.
Yeah, get fucked, Tom Brady. Sorry.
Yeah.
My pick. I don't know. You can go, Will.
Who I didn't like? Or Noah?
Yeah, who you didn't like?
I'm gonna go like either Irwin or Cholowski. I guess I can't steal Cholowski, so I'll go Irwin. He was bad against the Senators. I didn't get to watch that whole game, but I'm pretty sure both the goals we gave up were when that pair was on the ice. Stuff like that. I mean, it just can't be happening.
Yeah. I don't know who I want.
I'm not gonna lie. We've all stopped paying attention to this podcast.
Yeah,
the game
we
really
all
got so
stopped.
interesting.
We all just got sidetracked from Tom Brady getting shit on. But
Yep, it's a fun time.
Tom Brady's the GOAT, so no disrespect, but it's nice to see him lose. Person I didn't like Cholowski's probably like my pick, but Noah took him, so I'm not gonna say him. But like I guess you could say goalies, but I'm gonna say Peter Laviolette as my pick. I want our rookies like McMichael and Protus getting more minutes shot against the Senators, so that's on them to take shots when they get their chances. But I want them to get more time. I want Connor McMichael on the power play, et cetera, et cetera. But that's everything. So thank you for coming on today, Noah.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you get your Nick Dowd at some point.
Bro, God, Lord.
But thank you, everyone, for listening. See you next week. We have a nice guest lined up, so we'll see you then.
Yep. Take care, everybody. Eat your
Good night,
vegetables.
Pittsburgh.
Try not to hit yourself in the head like I did, and have a great day.
Fuck Tom